Out to lunch. I would say like out to lunch is my personality. Hello, my name is Francesca, and this is Critical Babe Theory, and this is Lauren Servideo.
Hey.
Cult comic.
Some would say.
Actually, many would say. Basically, that's your most common moniker.
I think it was, and I hate saying it like this because they're not on my good list currently, but the New York Times used it first in one.
Oh my God, they used it first?
In one article that was about the amazing Caitlin Phillips.
Yes.
And her, and I just happened to be sitting at the table. I don't know why I got brought up, because it was filled with more influential and more important and like charming, smart people. But
you know what? You're the only person I remember from it, though. So what does that tell you?
It was just right at the beginning, and there's a certain kind of, my parents, I think unintentionally, do you know the idea, like the cadence of a Lauren's or cult comic Lauren Servideo. Yeah, it's up. Yeah, it goes up and down, up and down.
It's sort of like a colt, COLT, frolicking.
Well, damn, and I hate where it feels like I was just like Caitlin, and I was about to be like someone else, where it's like name droppy, but I have to tell you, I thought it was so interesting. I think she's written about it, so I'm not. That one time, the equally incredible author and writer Kat Marnell was speaking to Natasha Stagg, or wrote a comment or something like that about how her name, it's like Natasha Stagg, like a cigarette going out, like Stagg, and that was always her. Like on the cover of her book, there was like a cigarette, and she was always known for being a smoker, and it was like, I love the
good
as someone
synergy.
that has never had any real relationship to poetry yet. Life is long.
Totally.
Life is short, but it is the longest thing I'll ever do. That it's like I love thinking Francesca Root
Dodson.
Wait,
I know. There's a lot. It's three names, and it's, I can't count, 10 syllables.
Francesca Root. Wait, is it Root Dodson? It's
Root Dodson. Root Dodson, which is like a very karate.
Yeah, it is
name.
a bit of a. Ooh, yeah,
right?
Root Dodson.
Yeah. It's aggressive, which is like, so all the women in my family were called, like my mom was referred to as Big G, like Big Z, Big G, Big M, and nobody refers to me as Big F. But anyway, there's something like, it's all of a piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're Italian.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about you, and I was thinking, like, why are all Italians funny? But then I was like, I don't know if that's true. Do you have anything? Can you weigh in on that?
I feel like sometimes it feels like accidental. I don't know. And I've tried reading up on
the subject,
on like being funny in general, if there's any psychology that goes into it. This is my like futile attempt to bring any kind of like literature into this. But it was what is it, Freud's like wit, son of a bitch, my memory is so awful. Okay. Wit in its relation to the unconscious or something like that.
Whoa.
Just as like an idea of like, where does all this shit come from, the ideas.
Okay, well, there's like in the ether, or if one were to turn to Jung, you could say in the collective unconscious, there is this idea that funny people are people who've like had it really hard and are really messed up. I don't agree with that, because my younger kid is 4 and is, I'm going to pretty unequivocally say, definitely not messed up at all, but she's been cracking jokes since she was like 18 months.
What good?
So I'm just like,
she witnessed even in utero? Like, is there anything?
I mean, I had a lot of fun when I was pregnant with her, but I don't know if that was like an outcropping of her innate personality, which is sort of interesting because people are always talking about like pregnancy as parasite, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this kid has always been funny. And then the problem is, though, she gets mad when you laugh. And I'm like, no. I was like,
so
she gets upset and she cries and she gets, and I was like, no, you're making a joke, so people are gonna laugh. And so then I showed her the Joe Pesci video. You think I'm funny?
Yeah.
And she got even more mad at me because I was like, you're like Joe Pesci, and she really didn't like them.
That's interesting. Not to get into like eldest daughter discourse or whatever, but I would argue, and I'm one of two daughters, and I personally think my younger sister is so much more funny, and like she's not pursuing the arts or like comedy, so she's an amazing social worker, but like there is something about her inherently, like just the way that she'll pick up on something way faster than me. And it always makes me think of it makes me think of the conversation that Ben Affleck has with Matt Damon in Good Will Hunting, where he's like, you're sitting on $1 million ticket, you're sitting on $1 million ticket. And I know so many people sitting on $1 million tickets, but it's just,
and then some of us have $15 and we're just grinding so hard.
Yes, I always feel like I'm just like I'm on my 11th dollar or something, really truly at the 11th hour. It's all of it. But yeah, there is something to, I think, being a younger sibling. Can I ask what their like difference is? It's like
a little less than 2 years, 22 months.
Oh, that's gonna be so special.
I know.
That's really cool. We're 3.5, so it ends up being like we weren't in the same school together, all this stuff, and obviously like it remains to be seen. You have so much ahead of you, which is so cool. As
me
as
or
a mother.
your sister?
No, because we're all grown. She just turned 30. She's about to be 31. Oh, it's crazy. She was the youngest person I ever knew. She was born in 95. I'm born in 91. Do you know? I don't know if you have siblings like where it's like no one was younger than her, and even like the other day I happened to be at like the liquor store, and it was like, if you were born on this day in 2005, like that's the first legal day or what have you. And I was like, 2005. Like it was a little jarring to me. And then I said something because I felt compelled to, and then I was like, shit, I'm sorry. You probably get that every single hour of the day that you're in
you're
here.
Carding people.
You know what I mean? I was like,
totally. Yeah. I feel like I often want to say the same thing that everybody says. Like when I meet somebody tall, I want to be like, you're so tall.
What? Speaking of collective consciousness, what do you think compelled? Because it's true. I think everybody.
It's astounding, and we want to express our astonishment.
There is a certain, despite it not really being a feat, other than maybe like absorbing more in utero, right? Like more placenta. I'm not really sure, or just like genetically, even not even that. Like it was already encoded that it is. It's not really like congrats on your PhD. It's like you're.
But so I kind of think we're all Hindus secretly in our hearts, which like, and correct me if I'm by not you, anybody, because I often say things that are wrong or incorrect, and I'm really open to feedback. But I think that we're all sort of secretly Hindus, because my understanding of Hinduism is that like each lifetime you sort of manifest according to your karma. So from that perspective, them being tall and tall being associated with a positive characteristic in our society, actually it would be a personal accomplishment that they manifested that body.
I really like that as someone who has not studied the
literally also did not study it.
But still, I do tend to come up with things. Not that I've like associated or affiliated them with any particular religious standing, but like I guess you would consider them karma. Like I have this idea that I think that you end up getting reincarnated as every person who will have ever existed. This is a new thought that I've had in the last like year, which means you're going to be someone who lives for an hour, who lives for a second, who lives to be 109, and that's how you end up getting through eternity, maybe? I'm not sure. And I'm trying to figure out if there's any root to that. I don't want to say it came to me in a dream, but I do feel like I woke up thinking about that one day, and I was like, well, I feel certainly very blessed in this one so far. Yeah. Knock on wood. I don't know what.
You can knock on wood even for the sound. So
I can't. Okay. I was like hesitant to knock on the table, but yeah, I was like. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know.
That's heady.
Where that showed up. But again, there's no like, I'm like, that is what happens. When people have like the NDEs. Do you ever read those near-death experience forms ever? Me shortening it. Like,
God, please tell me.
The NDE forms. There's one specific one, and I'm sure there is an audience member who knows exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, like there's a way that you can formally submit, and you fill out certain checklists. I'm not sure if at this point they use like one of those Google forms, but like it is I would hesitate to call it scientific, but they do try and be like rigorous, so you can like line up certain things. Like, could you see bodily forms in the afterlife? Yes or no? How long were you out for? 1 minute, 7 minutes? And then that way you can search if you have one yourself based on the things that you saw and if there are any linked to yours. Yeah.
You know, I'm like the opposite of Billy Crystal in When Harry Met Sally. You know how he talks about like early in the film when they're in the car driving across the country, he talks about like being obsessed with death, and he feels like that's what gives him depth as a person. Well, I mean, he doesn't say that, but it's sort of implied that he thinks that. I just don't think about death very often.
God, lucky you.
Oh, really?
Oh, man. I have my mom's dad died when she was 8, very unexpectedly. And I found out recently that my grandmother who was married to the guy that died, had very severe obsessive compulsive disorder. And I never considered myself as having that because I don't have I have to touch this 8 times, but I have very obsessive thoughts that like even with the power, like the willpower, are hard to eliminate. But it's like just since I was a child, like I can't, and I always wait for the phone. I'm always waiting for like the phone call. Yeah, like I think about it all. So yeah, but I wish I could say it was like healthy. It's not, but it's not enough for me to do anything about it yet. I've been feeling compelled to. I think very arrogantly, I'm like, I go to therapy and I already know what they're gonna say. Dude, like you get the phone call and then what happens? They're dead and then what? And it is kind of like right. And I could, like I said, I'm sure that's not the answer, and I'm just filling in my own stupid blank. Well, that's so cool that you don't suffer from that.
Well, but now hold on, because now that you're putting it more in that perspective, I mean, I did have 5 family members die within like a year and a half of each other.
Oh my word, I'm sorry.
Oh, thanks. So then when people call, I do assume that it's because somebody's dead. But I sort of take that more as just like it's like Russian. It's like this is life. You know what I mean?
Are you Slavic?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am Slavic. I wish I were more Slavic in my outlook, and because Slavic women are deranged, particularly the way they date is like really cool.
How so?
To me,
I'm unfamiliar.
I mean, what do people say stuff on the internet, and it's like nothing. See, I'm naive because I used to take people at face value on the internet, and now I realize that that's not true. But Slavic women allegedly like get flowers every day and are super demanding with their boyfriends and are like I don't know, leading some kind of opposite of American dating life.
I feel like that's what they say. I don't know. See, I've never read the discourse. I've never participated or read the discourse. But you know how they're always saying like it's like Latina women they're like very bossy and demanding and they get what they want. That I'm like I hate to do like all women, but I wonder if that's
just all women are bossy and demanding.
Yeah, I mean, or like what are the nuances of Slavic?
Women are so controlling. That's what I was thinking about. You know, like you see a chick on the subway and she's like, I remember I was sitting next to this woman and she like was telling her boyfriend where to sit or where to hold on to the what do you hold on to? The
strap hanger.
The
strap hanger. Dude, literally they haven't had strap hangers on the New York City subway since 1986 at least. He was holding onto the strap hanger.
Yeah, exactly. And she said, not that one, the other one. But I just thought, like, what is that? Is that the female version of fear of God? And I'm erasing you right now. I'm so sorry in your personal experience.
No.
With fear of, but like the Billy Crystal version, the Jewish Billy Crystal, the Jewish male thing, right? Because Woody Allen talks about it too, like being obsessed with death all the time. And I was like, so is the female waspy version of this like just ordering your boyfriend around all the time that you can stave off your inevitable demise and the slow encroachment of time and the desecration of your flesh by just like telling your boyfriend what to do all the time?
Or is that playing God and you're like, I'm stepping in to see what it could remotely be like to be, but that's believing in a God who I'm trying to not benevolent shit, you know what I'm trying to say, like a God omnipotent.
Is that what you're looking for?
I'm like an impotent God who gets struck down with lightning right now. Oh my God. But you know what I mean, where it's like you don't have free will. God, I feel, dude, and coming on here, man, and we're talking about,
I know, dude.
And I know someone, a really nice gentleman quoted like James Baldwin right off the dome, and I'm like, what,
no, but I think that's,
you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, and I think that I'm not gonna say skids, but like the mental skips, that's where the good stuff is, because language is so conscriptive, and ideas can be constrained by the language used around them. Whereas when that's why talking to a child sometimes is so freeing, because they use language in these bizarre ways.
I love it. You know, when they're first learning pronouns, truly, and they're like, I want her soda, or something like that, to me will always forever. There's something about that beyond it just being like funny and sweet. There's something very like beyond any, again, talk of like pronouns and how they're applied in our 2026 lives. Just like there's something, there really is the way that they begin to understand. Language is like linguistics is crazy.
It's crazy. And like in the beginning, I take it you're a Catholic. In the beginning, there was the word. Do you know what I mean? And those kids, like an infant is it's like without speech, you know, like an infant is defined by having no speech. God, I feel like I'm stoned. I was at this, I went to the baths, Spring 88. Do you know what I'm talking about? The Russian baths, but that are down in the financial district. Anyway, there's a room where you can smoke inside. I don't even know if I'm not supposed to be saying this. It's like a whisper network thing. But there's a room you can smoke inside, but somebody was like smoking a joint to the dome, as you just said. And maybe I got a contact high like delayed by 12 hours.
Did you go to the baths yesterday?
Yeah, I went last night.
Wait. Not there, but I went to this new one called Lore Bathing Club. Ooh. That's over on Broadway. I got like an invitation. Oh. God, I would get into a van in 2 seconds. It really, truly, the free candy vans should be afraid of me, dude. I'm not kidding. It's so insane. My poor mother. But I went, and I've never been like a bathing person. I've never done that. I've never been to the Russian Turkish baths, despite stealing Valor and wearing one of their t-shirts, because it seems like a very cool enterprise. But I went, I did the thing, and no smoking, because I'm normal. Sure it's like VC back. I have no idea. Sorry. If this makes it in sorry, like, I don't know. But you know, you can just, you're like, it was a big thing. Yeah. But wait, but I didn't know, in America at least, or in New York City specifically, like bathing culture. Would you call it is that what you would say, like bathing?
Bathhouse, but like not culture. But that sounds gay. That sounds like you're going to a glory hole.
Yeah, exactly. That like I was just listening in on some conversations, and it was all very much like, I know a PM at Amazon. Like it was very like I could tell it was corporate, and I don't know if it had to do again with like the ownership or location of this one, because it was on Upper Broadway, which I know is near like a Meta building and IBM and like you know, all the stuff around there. But I felt like I was hearing a lot of like work talk, not like two coworkers going to the bathhouse, but like other people who, you know, are catching up. Yeah, but that makes, now hearing this in the financial district, I'm sure after a long day on Wall Street, you're like, and you can't have phones. I thought about that. I was sitting there like massaging my temples, being like, I can't believe this is my life in a bathhouse. But I was like, oh right, you can't. You can talk. It's like golf almost, which I think is why people in the upper echelon choose that as like a pastime to discuss business. Oh. Or like there's no, I mean, not that you couldn't have it, but I'm just saying like the outdoorsiness of it all. In a bath, there's no phone. Well, you can talk, you can move in silence.
This place was kind of cutty, so people did have their phones, which is like also, I would say, ill-advised. Like I would not bring a phone into a room that's 170 degrees or whatever.
That feels nasty as shit. Yeah,
which is crazy. But the population, it was interesting. I'd never been there before. I used to go to Turkish baths on 10th Street, the Russian and Turkish baths on 10th Street religiously when I lived down in the East Village, or I lived in Alphabet City, because I would show up at 9 a.m. on Saturdays where it was like nobody there. Yeah. Because the psychosexual aspect of it can get a little tiresome.
I was wondering that myself in going here yesterday, because I was like, I don't think I can keep up with this, but I would love to now maybe see what the Russian Turkish baths are like. But I was like, do I go on like chicks only day, or like do I keep it, or is it like,
then it's titties out, which is like there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But like nudity also, it's already so overwhelming. Yeah. To add non-stop nudity to it, like, cause I can take nudity in a locker room is okay, but like unadulterated non-stop nudity is probably too much for me.
Bush.
It's just like distracting.
Yeah.
Because naked people are interesting.
They are. I will look at a nipple in a museum. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Or like, I'm
trying to look at naked people all the time, but it's not polite.
Yeah. So, and it's because how do you not, and you're like,
I know, I do. I remember when I was like 18, this guy told me, he was like, don't get stuck on the headlights. And then I have gotten stuck on the headlights before. Do you know what I mean? So it's like for me, and like I can monitor myself and my behavior in a locker room for a limited amount of time, but like I get a little daffy when I'm at the baths for like 2-3 hours. So to have like a nonstop keeping my shit tight with not looking at people too much would be challenging for me.
I realized I'm way more of like a prude, and it's weird. Like in front, there's a camera, there's something in my instrument that like comes to it goes beyond anything I can understand. So, like I think I'll spend the rest of my life trying to figure out what it is about a computer or a phone or a camera that just like but like when I'm in a locker room, and again I'm fairly certain I didn't recognize anyone in there, that I just like I'm like trying to change out of, you know, from the bathing suit into my bra, and I'm like trying not like and I've always been like that. I didn't go to like a girls' school, or like I didn't I don't know, there was like a certain thing, like I think it's, but again what I mean to say is that like on camera they're like, are you okay with nudity? I'm like, rip that nudity clause out the contract, because like I will show whatever TBA BB belly button, like whatever you want, feet, like whatever, but something to do like being in a locker room with a I can't do it. I don't know why, and it's not for, I don't know, and I'm not, so I love my body, like my body's fine. I don't, you know, it's not like they're gonna be like roll or whatever, like I don't know.
The sanctity of privacy is important to you.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know, it's I'm a prude, I guess. But I don't mind if other people, I love when people, I know, I have a friend it's a friend of my cousin's who, the first time that I had met her, and her and my cousin are like decently close, I wouldn't say, you know, they go back, but they're not like best friends, that she like pooped with the door open. And I just thought that was like so cool.
That is I thought really that was so cool.
And she's so cool. It wasn't gross. It was like really funny. She didn't make it, like it was, I was just like, wow.
That's great.
You are so free.
Yeah, I would want that.
I don't know why it didn't, and I'm sure other people would be like, hey.
Yeah,
it just didn't bother me. I thought it was awesome.
I'm a prude when it comes to male nudity. Like a guy takes his shirt off, and I'm like, oh, I like avert my eyes. I'm like, that's private.
I can't speak, although I did see a guy, I wish I could. There's something really funny, I am gonna get up and walk, where he was like, you know when guys who are like into working out like walk, like their like muscles are always tight, where I'm gonna walk across or just, I'm trying to like see if it'll catch me right here. It was just,
like their butt
like it's almost
tight.
Like a fake limp that it just absolutely slayed me, dude. And you could see, and of course he was in like he was in like regular swim trunks, but it just was like you could start to see the V of it all. But that was actually in recent memory the only time I can think of like averting
your gaze.
My eye, where I was just like,
it's too much. Or I guess, like, you know, maybe it's not too much. Maybe it's that so often somebody takes off a shirt, not at the baths because everybody's, but like if somebody takes off a shirt in front of me and it's like we're in a group like going swimming, like if a guy takes off his shirt, I'm always like, oh God, it's like the energy, it's like too much energy all of a sudden. Like, I don't need you taking off your clothes performatively for me. Do you know what I mean?
Or you know when like I take off my shirt where it's like arms, or when they do the
back one.
Oh my God, I didn't consider the back. We were like, you pull it up. So insane, so nuts.
It's deranged.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, for sure.
An capital I industry question. Yes. Have you done a sex scene yet?
So, there is somewhere on Real Celluloid, the first movie, the first feature I ever shot, never was released into the world. So God, I hope this doesn't pop up. This is crazy. There is a single shot on me. I should not be telling this right now. Topless, and I go start to finish orgasm. And because we were shooting on film and we were running out of film, I had to do it in one take. And it exists in a can somewhere. Isn't that terrifying?
Oh my God. How? My biggest question is just like a feature that just never...
Oh, that's...
And on film, that's so expensive.
It's so expensive, yeah.
And you're young, so you're not... It's not like you're talking about some 1970 where it would have been, you know, of course it's on 35 or whatever. Like, we're like, this would have been expensive at any point.
Whoa. I know, it's crazy. Jimmy was the director. You know what he said to me, actually? Maybe this was right before we were shooting or during. He was like, I remember we were like, I don't know, we were in some car, some van, and he was like filling up the trunk, and he like leaned over the window and he's like, you need a lot of attention and I can give it to you. And I just remember being like, I was maybe 21 at the time, and I was just being like, oh my God, he sees me.
There is like I know that cheap get of like a very quick, like they can snap.
Yeah.
Some people just know.
They just frickin' know.
And even if that's not true, they just know what's gonna get. It's like subdermal. It's not fully penetrative, but it's like subdermal.
And he was right. You know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean that. But to me now, I'm sure in hindsight, in the rear view, it's like, well, yeah, of course. It's all about attention economy now. We're all in it. Not even just actresses and actors.
I don't know how... This is what I don't get about Instagram. And I understand why now, like, TV attention shares are going down and film. Because I'm like... Because people are entertained on Instagram and social media. Now, I'm going to take you out of this for a second because you're a performer. You're a professional. But there are hell of people on social media who are, to my eye, they're civilians, but they're making, I don't know what they conceive of themselves as, but they're making entertainment content, but they're not performers. I mean, they're creators. That's the like umbrella term, which is like, at this point, a pejorative, I would say, right?
I would say creator to me feels like when you create a certain, like when you create content, and I mean it ends up becoming such a fluffy conversation of like, keep jerking yourself out talking about your art or whatever. I'm like, my art, where I know that there's someone who's like, get a real job, bitch, like of course, and they're not wrong, even though I do have a real job.
I know you
a lot, but like, you know what I mean, like whatever. And so yes, I also agree that I think that when every now and again someone will say creator, or my friend Bryn, if you can see this beyond the paywall, Bryn, love her though, was saying something, we got into it about influencer, and she was saying anyone that makes stuff online is an influencer, and I was like, that's completely incorrect. I was like, I feel like influencer comes with the idea that you're influencing people to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there are people who are influential, but influencer inherently has to do with economy, commerce. Like it's that
moving product.
Yeah, moving product, influencing. Like it's the influencing isn't like influencing you to go out and try something new, idea wise. It's influencing you to go buy vitamin gummies, obviously.
Wait, I have an idea for you, this is annoying, which is I'm going to give you an idea. So if you hate it, you can just say I love ideas. But have you ever had a character who worked in a MLM, multi-level marketing scheme?
No. And oh my God, Ivy, you know Ivy Wolk, the actress. Yes. Her algorithm is just so, it's just filled with, it's almost exactly what you're talking about, which is these people who are not famous, but like creating content, and everything has the potential to go viral. And so it's like if it falls into the right algorithm and gets shared, it's like the classic virality of the whole thing. But there's this one woman that she posts who's a stay-at-home mom who is very anti-MLM, and it's just a funny position to be in, because it is like, you would assume that she probably is in her next breath going to start hawking you Mary Kay or what have you. You know what I mean? Like it just seems like it. And she's like, fuck MLM, which clearly makes me think she got burned by an MLM, but it's just like a true, I don't want to speak poorly of her, but like there's nothing about her that's like, yeah, dude, you're gonna get famous and go to the Golden Globes or something. Like, that's the worst way I could put it, I guess. I have thought about this a lot because so much of my practice was like inventing people that were never based on one person alone. It's always like, again, like an unconscious amalgamation of a woman, typically, that just would like come to life. And usually people that, in my estimation, I would say were very much maybe on the fringes or just like unseen-ish. And so now that it post 2020, where like TikTok really was, I think, the platform that convinced people that, I mean, they could change their lives overnight if they just hit the right thing. So that's what's about, the constant posting of nothingness, of like, I'm gonna do like a sped up cleaning my apartment, you know what I mean, get ready with me, clean my house with me. And it's like other people who are like, oh, good idea, or like it's edited the right way and it's set to the right music, or like that could be me, because you can make a fucking killing. These people, I think, make so much money sometimes, not all the time. And so it's just like, it's interesting where like suddenly it's like these people who are on the fringe are now like famous, but in a way that's like, they don't move to New York, they don't move to LA, they're still in Massapequa. They're in Idaho, they're in Ohio, wherever, where like it's like they go to the grocery store and people, if you're lucky, might be like, oh my god, it's that lady that does that like chili bowl, that viral chili bowl. But otherwise, they're normal people with 5 million followers. It's normally it's Jennifer Aniston who has 5 million followers. And it's like, yes, of course we saw that with Instagram, but something switched. Sorry to be on such a long circular tangent, but yeah, like it's just interesting to me how much it's shifted, because now it's like maybe there is a fringe that I'm just not aware of anymore. Like truly people that are off the grid, but even that then is still off. Like then you'll still get crust punks with a fucking TikTok, dude. Like I don't know. It's like every subculture has some sort of online representative.
I know, it's tacky.
It's it's just like very, and so it's like I've been working my way out of it, but it just the like I'd say 2022 to like 2024 were like pretty rough in that way, where I just felt like I had lost the sauce.
Wait, tell me more.
I felt like it was like, I don't know if it was astrological or what. I don't know if it was, I hate being like, I got burnt out, like those gifted kids in second grade who are like, I just got burnt out on that 4th grade math, dude. That's why I am not successful. But like, there was something where it was like, I hated every idea. I totally lost confidence in what I was doing. And I mean, I definitely am one where I'm like, the more the merrier. Like, there's never too many of us. Like, more front facing, more cult comics is like a good thing. I'm not very I will say I don't consider myself very competitive with myself maybe, but not with others. But I don't know if it was just like seeing a lot more again with the pandemic. It was like a lot of people lost their real platforms, where it was like there was no stage. If you were a singer or a theater actor or anything, there was no studio. They were all closed. So everybody kind of came onto Instagram, where I've always been.
You've always been there. And everybody else is coming now, thinking it's their place.
Right, and you're like, welcome to my end of the pool, which I'm joking, because it's like, of course, you know what I mean? But like it definitely was, and that was fine. 2020, despite obviously the hardships, I'm saying for the particular online purpose, was a blast.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome. But it was more after the fact that I was kind of like, oh man, how do you keep up with that sort of thing? It was such a fruitful year given, and then once everything went back to, I don't want to say back to normal, but you know, it shifted closer to that. I was like, oh man, like what's inspiring now? Like I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but it definitely did have to do with more like, I'm not discovering this person anymore because they're already online. Why would I be the created fake version of someone who is real?
Why would I be the created fake version of someone who's real? Whoa, that makes me feel stoned too.
No.
So you've always been there. There's all these loosey newcomers. I'm just making up that term, I guess. So How do you do it? Because you still have a day job, right?
Generally, yeah. I just like I'll freelance copyright and whatnot. I do like voiceovers sometimes. Not that this will be every word is like blurring into one another. I'm not enunciating today. Oh, today's my enunciation day off.
Yeah, it's like your cheat day.
Yeah,
for enunciation.
I just kind of go, yeah. My podcast voice is very like, but that sort of stuff.
So, but I kind of feel like you are one of one.
Thanks. I mean, I guess it would be true of anyone.
Okay, whatever. Yes, I appreciate.
Don't shoot down my comment.
No. I appreciate your egalitarian spirit, but I don't have to have one.
Libra sun, Libra moon, dude. Yeah. It's not my resistance because I know what you and I agree, but then I don't know. But yeah, I think so. I definitely think I have a certain, even the type of stuff that I was doing. It's like years later, then I'll see someone that I don't know that isn't a part of like our larger or like our closer knit circle of like alt comics between New York and LA or whatever. But you're like, they're doing like a historical take on an anachronistic take on a thing. And I don't think that they saw my video and went, oh, I'm going to do that. But more like somehow downstream the idea of making that sort of thing reach them. But it's not like I invented that. And, White as Kids, like they did stuff like that all the time. I mean, that's where it's like, everything's always going to be derivative, so I never like to be like, and ideas they come and they go. If I don't know,
not like that the idea bounce thing that you were talking about on that other show.
Yeah, wait, you heard where I
like Michael Jackson.
Yes, where I heard where it's like you get that idea can't get to Prince.
Okay, wait, so let me explain. So basically idea bounce is the idea that if you get hit with an idea, divinely inspired, so to speak, that unless you kind of grab it and do something with it, it like will travel through the collective unconscious, again, Jung, and will go to somebody else. And Michael Jackson was always afraid that would, if he got an idea and he didn't capitalize on it, then it would go to Prince.
And think of my pool, like, dude, I mean, I'm not even trying to blow smoke, dude. We're surrounded. I am a fangirl to my core, and previous guest Ruby could probably attest to this at least, because I'm always like, dude, I feel like I get when was it Plato who had the salons of like the young boys, like listen to him talk, like it's true, like her and Leah and like their group, like they're just always people as a kid that I wanted to know that were able to merge like fashionable ideas with like esoteric ideas and make it interesting and like I hang on every word. But beyond that, I even mean like just like the other, and she's in everything. I'm always curious to know. They always say it's some shit about like your Saturn is in a certain place, or like if it's in one house, it's like you're just always gonna do a lot of different things and be really fucking good at all of them. She's one, but like just like the other people that make videos and are funny, like, man, it is a good pool. But that does make it so it's like, you're like, oh shit, I do want to get this because it's going to go to someone really good.
Yeah, you got to capitalize. Because they're little blessings. It's like the muses. I often think like, oh, I'm being blessed by the muses right now, and it's my moral responsibility to take up that blessing.
Oh, I am heavily ruled by Venusian. The idea of the muse, it always saddens me, and I get why. But when people are like, dispelled by the idea of the muse, because it's like that it's small because you're not like the artist, but I'm like, being a muse is so freaking cool, or at least like from my vantage point is the way I perceive my own muses. It's like,
so I think about muses all the time, and like early on my mother said to me, she was like, it's better to be the artist than the muse, but she was like really 60s like counterculture, and then turned into like yuppie 80s career woman, which is really cool.
Big shoulder pad,
big shoulder pads, sharp tailoring, making deals, and but you know what I found about muses, and I'm just gonna like let that be. I love being a muse. I like having them. I'm just gonna say I'm neutral about all that. But I have noticed I've propositioned a couple men to be my muses, and they don't pick up what I'm putting down. They don't like it.
Can you explain when you say like proposition, like how does a conversation go?
Literally, once I actually sort of propositioned someone, and I was like, I think I met them on the guise of like a date, and then because I don't have a lot of my manipulative capabilities are not super high, so then I think within 5 minutes of getting on this date, I was like, I just want to be clear, I invited you on this date because I want you to be my muse, and I like hard pitched what that might look like, and then he never went out with me again.
He rejected?
I think it just
was he artsy, or was he just like?
I think it was just. I think it's scary. And women, I'm gonna make a big generalization. I think women are used to being objectified, and we have a higher tolerance for it.
Oh shit! What did I say to Emerson the other day? That's like related to this about how this is far-fetched as hell. I'm again like you, happy to be wrong, happy to be this thought to be dismissed, but like that there's a certain inherent jealousy that men have because no one likes looking at men. And I'm talking about like
the straights.
Other than men who want to look at other men. Do you know what I mean? Like we'll say generally, no one wants to be looking at a fucking man. You know what I mean? Like, do you think Playgirl did as well as Playboy? Get fucking real, dude. Yeah. Like, women people always want to look at women. And I do feel like sometimes men are jealous.
Yeah.
And because there is something where you're like, but they don't want to admit that they want to be looked at because that's a feminine trait. Yeah. Sometimes you just want to be looked at.
You want to be a beloved.
Yeah.
Women are much more comfortable being a beloved than I think men are.
And I'm sure this, like, either this is a stupid idea because it's like, yeah, dude, we addressed that 5 books ago, catch up. Or it's like, that's not real because I haven't thought about it in the way that it's actually like either misogynistic or homophobic. I don't know.
I mean, we can lay that aside for right now.
Well, again, it's ideas.
It's just these ideas. Are just ideas. And men are not open to the idea of being my muse, anecdotally.
Damn.
I know. It's such a because I'm like, don't you want to? I was like, all right, baby. I'm like, baby, I'll write this beautiful thing for you, just you. You know.
But the thing is, could you use him in the back of your mind?
Sure.
Like, and did you ever? Was there anything that came of that?
I don't ask. What is it? Forgiveness, not permission. I'll take what
shoot first,
like a man.
Apologize.
I'll take what I want and leave the rest. You know,
the line read of that was so good too. I'll take what I want and leave the rest. I can't imagine a world in which, other than like my husband Emerson, who inspires me and like pushes me to go deeper with stuff. Like, I don't know if that he would be like my muse as much as he. Yeah.
Well, muse would be like, if to me there's something about, because I'm thinking it specifically within a realm of like when I write things, that like the muse would be like I would write something for someone. Yeah, that they would inspire it specifically, that there's some part of it that I need them for it to come to its total iteration. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
That's the realm in which, as opposed to like it sounds like what you have is like a generative creative partnership.
Yeah. That's a really beautiful way of putting it so suddenly. Do you feel like, and maybe not yet, because it really is like the overwhelming natural creativity of a child is just like, I don't know if they can really be like, I don't know if you have to be older
to be amused.
Do you know what I mean? If your kids have changed your creative process at all.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, the first thing that makes me think of was when Serge Gainsbourg said about Charlotte Gainsbourg. He said when she was a child, he was like, she's a beautiful sketch, which is both like the most pejorative, terrible thing to say, but also kind of amazing.
The French are always saying some shit like that.
Dude,
they're so good at
crazy.
It. They're like burning down their town hall, and also saying stuff that I never know where to. It's like a volley back and forth between.
They're wild, the French. Has it helped well, the first thought is pretty quotidian, which is that because my time is so much more limited and delineated, my output is higher just out of bare necessity. I mean, I remember this with like self-taping for acting. Before I had kids, I could self-tape for like a couple hours. I've always been on the shorter end. But then once I had kids, it was like, okay, I've got 10 minutes to get this puppy out. And that's it. And everything I've ever booked, like when I was on Succession, I spent maybe 3 minutes on that audition. Everything I've ever booked has been like throw it away, like, oh God, we gotta be there in 10, like kind of situation.
Maybe it's the spontaneity of it all that doesn't get murdered when you're just like rehearsing.
I think so.
Yeah.
Or something about not caring. Some stupid back of the National Enquirer, like spiritual advice. Do you know what I mean? Like when you're not invested, you just throw it away. The universe benefit. But like, what's the message of that? Like the universe favors the lackadaisical. Do you know what I mean? Like that's kind of dark.
Oh God, I see what you mean. Mm-hmm. Right, where like you do want to be rewarded for preparation, especially all the other times that you've prepared. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe there just is no reward for anything. It's just like,
maybe there is no reward for anything. Yeah, I think with that, we're gonna take a short pause so you can sit with that. And for those who are listening, if you want to hear the second half of this episode, you can go to Patreon/Critical Babe Theory and hear it there. Thank you.